I'm talking a load of gibberish today, and I probably will be talking a load of gibberish next week as well, because I'm still getting back into the swing of things. But what can I say? It's what I do best. Always talking out of my backside. Okay, so 750 there, and then need 750 ticks at this one. And then probably just 500 when you come back. What I'm thinking, do you know what? I think it is I'm trying to remember whether it's 250 or 350 at all the inner city stations. I think it's 250. If it isn't, it should be, and I will be definitely going back and changing that. But the ends, I think, are actually 1,000. Just because they're kind of sitting there not doing anything for a while. If you ever go to an underground station like Cockfosters or Walthamstow Central or Brixton or even the Heathrow stations, it is very much, they sit there for quite some time just ticking over. Most of the time it's so that the gap between the trains is even again. It's kind of why I have the little sidings here, so that the timetable can reset itself. Once again, I feel like there's loads of things that I kind of started talking about and then never actually finished. I do apologise if that's the case. This speed limit needs to be 15. This one probably, yeah, 40 is fine. And then the top speed of these trains is 60, so we're going to make it do 60 all the way to this station, Dairy Farm. Where it's going to drop to 40. Where is Dairy Farm on here? There, quite a long way down actually. Quite a long way down. Quite surprised about that. 60. I'm going to need to change the settings on my mouse as well, because this feels really sluggish. If I'd press the button, like, that's one speed. That is inconceivable. Try and work with that. That's a little bit better. And this is the one I've currently got it set to. But it just feels a little bit sluggish still. In fact, is that the one I've got it set to? No, this is the one I got it set to. I got it set to the highest. So I feel like this one, the ratio is about where you want it. Not that anyone needs to know that, of course. That's totally irrelevant fact to the episode. Doesn't affect the episode in the slightest, although it might make editing it later a bit of a pain in the backside. Right. That's this end done. Now if I follow this all the way through to this station, which is not called Thetford, fertilizer plant. Okay, so these are all 40 right the way through until we get to fertilizer plant Rondworth. Yeah. And then it's going to go back up to 60. So this is kind of like the inner city area, although this isn't the inner city area, but this is still kind of the underground area. And then it comes back out from underground and runs at surface level, bar a few tunnels. It's one of these like pointless facts of the underground thing. I can't remember the name of the tunnel or where exactly it is. I believe it's on the central line. It has the longest tunnel that's not part of the underground network. It's not really that good a fact for me to share because, as I said, I can't remember the name of the tunnel or where exactly it is on the central line. Pretty sure it's on the central line, and I'm pretty sure it's somewhere near the Hainault loop. It's one of those little tidbits of information. Things like the deepest underground station is Hampstead. Is it just Hampstead? Or North Hampstead? West Hampstead? It's on the northern line. Let me look it up on my map really quickly. It's all adverts. That's frustrating. I just want the map, thank you. It is, yeah, Hampstead on the northern line. And the reason it's the deepest, it's not because it's the furthest underground exactly, because I believe that's on the Jubilee line. I think that's Westminster or Waterloo. But the reason it's the deepest is because it's underneath Hampstead Heath, which is on a hill. There you go. That's my other useless fact of the day. Where would you be without my useless facts, eh? We'll have that as 40 again because it's single track. What other useless facts do I know about the London Underground? Well, there's the new map. It's not a useless fact, it's actually some useful information. I used to know someone who suffered from claustrophobia and didn't particularly like using the underground because of the tunnels. There is a new map that's been released by TfL that actually shows on the map where all the tunnels are. So if you look at, let's say, for example, the Piccadilly line, the bits of track where it's in tunnel, there's kind of like a tunnel sort of graphic superimposed onto the map, so you can see where all the tunneled sections are. So it means you can still use the underground. You can navigate your way around all the overground sections, because I think it's only 40% of London Underground is actually underground. So it's kind of a misleading name. It's just so happened that the original line was underground, which is why it was called London Underground. But I think that's a really, really useful piece of information for people who, as I say, do suffer from claustrophobia. Because I used to know someone who suffered from claustrophobia, and going on the underground was difficult for them. So, me personally, I always love looking at maps and trying to find alternate routes. So, it didn't affect me too much. It was kind of like a blessing in disguise, if that makes sense, because I was able to find new and interesting ways to navigate around London. So it was never a hindrance to me, but I can imagine for someone who does suffer from claustrophobia or escalators, things like that, where tunnels are involved, it can be a horrendous experience. So it's good that, in my opinion, they've released it about 25 years too late, but it is still good that they are taking the needs of those people into account now, and actually providing a means for them to use the underground still. So that's not a useless fact, but I think that's some important information. If anyone who watches these videos does suffer from claustrophobia or does have problems with London Underground in general, not things like trains are delayed or cancelled, because that's not really a problem now, is it? That's just an inconvenience for all of us. But besides that, yeah, it's useful information. It's always useful. Right, 10. So reset you to autofill. We now need to find a name for this line. So it comes through here, zigzags along this way, connects up with the main circle line here. I'm tempted to just name it. So this one's named after South Bank. We could name this one the East Bank line, because it does run sort of along the East Bank, although it doesn't run along the East Bank the whole way. And I'd say it crosses several bodies of water, so that could be quite confusing. The Leapside line, because it does run through Leapside. Or we could come up this way and call it the Rindingwell line, because it goes through Rindingwell. In fact, I think it has like 2 or 3 stations. Or maybe just the one. Let me think. It's kind of important that we get this right. Yeah, I'm not going to name it after something this way, and I'll show you why in a second. In fact, while we're here quickly, 28 trains. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. That should be right, because if I come down here, select this and this, yeah, there's 25 trains on the South Bank line. So that does make sense. So excuse me. I've had something stuck in my throat this whole episode as well. I hope you haven't noticed. I think we'll call it the Rindingwell line, because it does go through the whole of Rindingwell, even though there's only one station. And it does go through Rindingwell Central. So, it is that one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, Rindingwell line. I'm just looking. There it is. Right. Rindingwell line. EMU. And the number of carriages should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, it's gone all the way to the bottom, hasn't it? That's going to be troublesome. Maybe I won't choose one that starts with a W next time. But we could just about reach. Right, U, Rindingwell, add shared vehicles. There we go. Right. So after an hour, this episode might have to be split up a little bit. After an hour, we've reached this line. Now, this line is going to be the same type of train running at the same speed, which is always a good place to start. There we go. Pin you, drag you over. Did I mention the food trains? I'm still having problems with the food trains. Trying to get them to work. I've upgraded them all to this type of diesel, but one isn't strong enough, so I've had to put 2. I've also changed the carriages so they can carry twice as much food, although it's not quite a ratio of 2 to 1 anymore, because of the way that the fact that I had to replace the diesel, one of the wagons with another diesel, which is a bit of a pain, but it had to be done. Right, and on top of you, we need that. Okay, you are no loading, no unloading. You are service. You are no loading. And then on top of this, we start doing this route. So we're cloning this first route, the Rindingwell line, up to a point, and then we're taking this in a different direction. And the thing is, there's going to be lots and lots of metro lines in Gardcity, but not many routes. So there's going to be lots of services, but not that many different track routes. And it's kind of to do with keeping people moving, keeping people connected. There's going to be lots of different alternatives to just hopping on one train. It's a bit like if I go to King's Cross and I want to get the underground to Baker Street, I can get on a Circle Line train, I can get on a Metropolitan Line train, or I can get on a Hammersmith and City Line train. And it's great because when you don't care about where the final destination of the train is, because you're getting off way before that, you just get on the first train that comes through. Or if that one's busy and you want to wait for the next one, you just get on that one when it comes through. And it's so much nicer, the fact that you don't have to worry about getting on the train. It's only a horrible thought whether I made that train stop there or not. And I kind of want that to be the same with Gardcity, so that there could be a number of different trains you can get on that will ultimately take you to where you want to go. I think that's what's going to make Gardcity so good for town planners, is the fact that you can go to lots of different places. Right, we're at Bankside. Once we get at Bankside, originally I was going to have it come up this way and then branch off somewhere over here and come down this way, which I might still do at some point in the future. Plus the fact that we've got this huge area here where we could diverge a line off and actually have it come up this side and off up into the distance. Or maybe even have it connect up with, where is it? This line here. So have a line that cuts across there, or have a line that comes up this way and then cuts across and joins up with this one over here somewhere. We might do that in the near future. We're not going to do that today. Today, this line's going to utilize an existing piece of track. And I always lose where we are. It's one of these things. This is the bit where I most sort of sit back and go, wow, I built this. Is when I'm trying to navigate around Gardcity and I always get lost in a city that I built because of how vast it's grown. Because there are times where I'll be working up at somewhere like Sunnington, like as far away from here as possible. But meanwhile, whilst I'm doing that, this place is still growing. And then eventually I'll come back to see sort of what's new, what's updated, etc. And the whole thing is just huge. Like Gardcity, if I zoom out, is just vast. This area all around here especially, and particularly this little peninsula that we built not that long ago when we built the Lafayette line. If you look at how built up it is now, you've got skyscrapers starting to appear. Guard Lake is now completely full, which I didn't think it would be, considering we don't actually have that many stations that are served. I suppose we have, I think the rule in the game is you need 5 stations before the town starts growing. And this does have 5, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it does fit the rule. 6 if you count this one here too. So that's probably why it has grown as big as it has. But I still find it absolutely bewildering that it is as big as it is. Staggering. And I get lost. Especially when I'm trying to find something like an underground station, which is exactly the point of why I built them the way I did, so that they are actually hidden when you're just skimming around. It's only when you're really looking for them and you can't find them that it starts to become a little bit of an inconvenience. All of these stations need to be renamed as well, plus some of these towns could do with renaming too. So I keep asking for suggestions. I cannot believe there's people out there that don't have any suggestions, that are always commenting suggestions for videos but aren't suggesting name ideas. If you want to get listened for, well, actually I don't want to run that policy because that sounds a bit unfair, but I was going to say if you want to be listened for episode suggestions, then you should probably contribute name suggestions as well, because that'd be the best way to get heard. And I kind of stand by that still. I'm more likely to go to someone who I've used before, just because I know them and I trust them. So yeah, if you want to suggest some ideas for episodes, it wouldn't hurt your chances of being heard if you actually suggested some name ideas for stations as well, because that's the one that I'm really struggling with. Right, same as before. 250, 2500. This one is going to be 1000. All the way through. Once we get to Plyn Hill, though, we're only going to wait for 750, and then in the sidings it's going to be another 2500, and then another 750. So we're using some of the South Bank line to take it to Plyn Hill. These terminating platforms are currently unused, which is why I'm using them for this. So I think that would be, I think it was 500 I had them wait at the end for. And then that's set up. Yeah, I just think it'd be better if we did it this way. So there's now 4 different ways that you can get to Plyn Hill from Gardcity. 1 from GSG, 1 from GSC, in fact technically 2 from GS... No, yeah, 1 from GSG, 1 from GSC, and 2 from Bankside. Or any other station that happens to have both lines serve them. 40 miles per hour is the default, except for here where it's not 15. I know it's 15. What am I talking about? This is 40, and then it's 60, all the way up into Thingy Fertilizer Plant, wasn't it? Now the trains on the South Bank line actually run at 40 miles an hour because it's still quite it's a commuter belt, quite heavily built up area. So I'm not going to change the speed of all the trains. So I'm just going to change the speed limit up to Thingy Fertilizer Plant, Rondworth Fertilizer Plant, and then from Rondworth back to Nudhull, and then that will be the end of that one. And then we can name this line, and we can get the number of trains that we need, and we can group it all up. There's Fertilizer Plant, We do need to change the speed at Plyn Hill. Was there a waypoint? There is a waypoint. Pin orders. So just before Plyn Hill, there is a waypoint. In fact, there's this one, Suntan waypoint. Do I want that? Oh, that's for the main line. So I do need another waypoint. There. Plyn Hill waypoint. Good name. Right, so this is going to be 40. And then this is going to be 15 because it's a terminus. And then this is going to be 15 for obvious reasons. This is going to be 15. And then it's going to be 40 again. Right the way through Gardcity until we get to fertilizer plant. And then it's going to be 60 all the way home. So my goal for Gardcity is to try and have at least 2 metro routes per track route. So 2 metro lines per actual rail infrastructure that we have in the city. The exception to that, of course, would be the Circle Line, which is going to have every route. Because pretty much every route that's going to run through Gardcity is at some point going to be running on the Circle Line metals. But we expect that, don't we? That one was 30, wasn't it? So the Circle Line is going to be incredibly busy. But I'm hoping that the way that these metro trains work, they've got very fast acceleration, very good deceleration. So it should balance out. So that there's no train really holding up any other train. 27 this needed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Name. Right, now this one I think we're going to call it something... See, I don't want to call it the Victoria line, because that's already been done. You know, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt kind of thing. But it's an option. It is an option. Or the Stillington line. I think I might go Stillington line, because it does go via Stillington Metro. Oops. Although, I've done that wrong. I would point out the Circle Line and the South Bank line and the Rindingwell line do all go via... Actually, the South Bank line doesn't. What am I talking about? The Circle Line, the Rindingwell line, and the Stillington line all do go via Stillington. But they might not have done back in the day. That's the thing. They might not have done back when this city was first built. Just because I'm building it now doesn't mean that it's new as such. I mean, it really doesn't make much sense. It doesn't make much sense to me when I'm saying it out loud, but the mythology of the city will be these lines already existed, it's just we're only just building them now. That makes no sense at all, but hopefully you guys know what I mean. Right, now for the big one. For ages, the very first connection that we built off of the original Circle Line was this one here. And we've never done anything with it until now. And in fact, we haven't done anything with it for so long that Gondingbury has grown up over the embankment that we built. So we're going to change that very quickly. And then we're going to actually have to go on and build this line before something else grows up over it. Which is also the case here. But what has happened here? Rotway seems to have completely obliterated the embankment that we had. And here, the town's been terraforming. What a absolute liberty. Yeah, I'm glad I'm destroying your homes now, if that's how you're going to treat me. All this hard work I've done... Oh, I didn't want to do that. All this hard work I've done building your city, and you're going to destroy it. None of these buildings would exist if it wasn't for me. Right, down, down, and down. And down. There we go. Now, once we actually get to this station, I'm a bit torn as to what to do, because I'm not sure if I want the line to continue to Flame Junction, like the Metropolitan line will do with Watford Junction, which was the original inspiration for this little branch, or whether I just want it to terminate there and then turn around and go back. I'm really stuck in two minds there. I'll have to sort of spontaneously decide once we get to it. Let's use the old styly here actually. And here. Use the old styly as well. Yeah. Taking the absolute Michael there. With their little stunt. Building up over my track like that. Who do they think they are? There we go. Signals in place. That should be evenly signalled all the way through here, which it looks like it is, which is good news, bears. Alright, rural station. No, I don't want rural. I want suburban for this. So I think like this line is slightly different to the other lines, and that this is still a heavily built up area where all these stations are being built, so it should still be built in sort of an urban way. Obviously I can't use the metro type stations because these are all above ground. That wouldn't make any sense. So we're taking a couple of liberties. Which I kind of want to build this one there. And most of these stations here are going to be of a very similar design, just like the original underground stations were as well, of course. How have I miscounted this? I was giving myself, yeah, I was giving myself 3 tiles for all the stations, but that is totally not correct. It should be 4. Yes, all the original underground stations were built to a very similar design. If you go and check them, if you don't believe me that is, you will see that they are all built to a very similar design. They all had different designers, or some did. Like Charles Holden, he designed a lot of the Piccadilly line stations. He also designed some stations on the Central and the Northern lines. And then there were other designers, but please don't ask me to name them right now. Yeah, I need to put a station here at Taunton, but I have completely miscounted the number of tiles. It's rather embarrassing. Now, I was originally going to connect this station to the overground station, but I think they would work better as 2 separate entities. It's one of my new favourite words. I don't even know why. Entity is a very old word. Doesn't even mean anything that special, but I've always liked it. It's a nice word. Anyway, random. So this line, I really am torn about where to build it. One thing I did want to do originally was from Bartholomew, have a line that spurs off this way and runs alongside a river, which I need to dig out still, which would come all the way along here. But I might save that for... should I? No, I shouldn't really, because otherwise it will never get built. Because up here is a really good place to terminate a line. I run it through here, and I've been looking at this place for a while and watching it grow. The problem is, where do I connect this to? Like, which direction do I connect it to? That's where I've been struggling. To be honest, I keep saying to be honest as well. I think it should come out, like this line should come off from this direction and then go up. so I won't do that. The other issue, of course, then is where does this line then come off of? I think we got too many coming off this way and going off that way, so I might continue it. I think that's too much as well, and I don't really want to build another terminus platform at Bankside. I suppose it could come down here and use the Shoreham terminating. Okay, we'll do that. We will do that. We do then need to build depot facilities somewhere. I could do that here. Like build it over here. That doesn't really work. We'll build them over at Flame Junction. We might as well use Flame Junction. We've got this extra platform. So if I carry on this one here, you connect up like that. That goes there. So this is going to go across like this. And this is going to go across like this. Like so. So let's see. Are these programmed signals? They are. They don't need to be anymore though. It's going to reset them all. And this also can be reset. Because there's no link now between the overground and the national network at Flame anymore. It's entirely separate. Two separate entities. That's what that word was invented for. Right, fixtures, this one, the old drag and drop. And then you come in from this side, you come in from this side, and you go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. We then need the waypoint, which goes there. And this is done. Awesome. Right, now to get the trains. Then we can start working on the final part of this project. For now. I'm sure we'll be back in the future. That's why I was a little bit reluctant to say that we were completely finishing Gardcity today, because there's absolutely no guarantee that that's true. But the final thing I want to do is get the second Hatfield Light Railway line up and running, because that's been neglected for a little bit too long as well. Although that was very easy when I did the network reset. That was the easiest one to do, as you'd expect, because it's entirely separate from the rest of the network. It was absolutely a joy. Right, you go there. You are no loading, no unloading. You are service. You are no loading. And then here we go. So as you'd expect, all the way along here, we share tracks with the overground line, which seems to be doing quite well, so that's good. I can tell whether a train or a track is doing its duty or not by the overgrowth. That's why, if anyone's wondering why I always keep the overgrowth, that's the reason why. It's because it does make it easier to see whether the train's running as it's supposed to. Right, you're going to copy from this. Next order is here. Little Sindhead North. I've got to remember that's the name, even though it's not actually north at all. So we're going to get rid of the north suffix. Little Sindhead. It's going to be your name from now on. Just like you aren't south of Rutway. How weird. I'm sure we were originally going to connect with Gondonbury somehow. That idea, as you can see, has now gone completely out the window. We were going to connect with Neyhatton as well. But plans change. As things grow, you can kind of tell whether it's going to work or not, and with that one it just wasn't really going to work, so I don't mind taking that out. Right, I think Halliday Circus is all working still. So these are the front end ones. This is the back end. Next order is Weetown. Yeah. Okay. So that should be fine then. And then it's GSG, which again hasn't had that much traffic. Metro traffic. Only one metro service currently calls on the northern side of the city here. So I'm kind of glad that we're getting this second one up and running. Same with Bartholomew, which is... It's our version of Moorgate, but I always consider it more like Farringdon for some reason. I don't really know why. I mean, Moorgate used to have... excuse me. Used to have trains from King's Cross go through to Moorgate. Via the York Road Tunnel and the King's Road Tunnel, I think was the other one. And then you had trains from Thameslink also go through to Moorgate via the original branch that now doesn't exist anymore. Which again is another sort of lack of foresight for the future, because I imagine in the future that would have been quite a handy connection to have. Oh well. Right, so I said this was going to terminate at... Aha! I've thought of a name for this line, actually. I have thought of a name for this line. That's good. That makes my life a little bit easier. And it's in the first half of the alphabet, so that makes my life a hell of a lot easier. So yeah, we go down this way. Like this, and we go to here, and then we go into here. So you are no loading, you are no loading, no unloading. Okay. 250. You then go to 2,500. You go to 1,000. Shoreham Junction. I think it was 500 it sits there for. Anyway, transfer you can go for 2,500 again. 500 there. And 500, whoops, here. Right, now in terms of speed, I need to come back over here. Select this train, because I just want to check what speed. Yeah, 30 it runs at, all the way down here. See, that one I might change to 40. Just so then it matches the speed of the metro. So we'll do that. So you are 15 into there. You're then 40 out, all the way through. Was there a waypoint? Down here. There wasn't, so I need to change the speed. Where does it get to Shoreham? There. Oh, it is 500. That was a good guess. So 20 miles an hour it goes through the tunnel. Here. 20. 20. And then Out of Shoreham it's all 40 again. This is all 40. Right until we get to this waypoint where it drops to 15. And then this one where it's 30. This one where it's 15. And this one where it's 10. Right, now I said I had a name for this line, and I do. This line is going to be called the junction line. EMU 9. Because it goes from Flayham Junction to Shoreham Junction. So that makes a lot of sense. Where is it? There it is. Drag it into Metro. Drag the ungrouped train into junction line. Now, how many trains do I need? 23. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, let's swap track types. We want Metro track construction now. Because as I said, we're going to work on the second HLR line. First thing we're going to do is extend the original HLR line, which does involve a little bit of demolition here. And a little bit more demolition here, because this needs to come up like so. And then this needs to level out like that. And in fact, this needs to go back a little bit more. Like that. Reason being, we're going to have a big bridge. Aha. That's enlightening. We'll go with the modern suspension, because that's going to look really snazzy. There we go. And here, modern suspension, same thing, nice and snazzy. And then we're going to have 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a station here. And then it's going to plunge underground for a ways. Until it emerges on this side of the city, or the town. I don't really know what Shoreham is now. I remember when this was Wrenwood Junction. Wrenwood doesn't even come close to this anymore. It's all Shoreham. Right. I'm going to plan out the rest of this line before I absolutely commit to it. So from here, I'm going to kind of follow the route of this overground line, I think. And then, yeah, might as well follow it. So here we're going to have stations sort of dotted along all the way until we get to there. And then we're going to have one here, here, yeah, Kenville, that's where we want it to go to. So that's the original line, extended as far as Kenville. Now we need to build, or plan out, where are we? That's what I mean by getting lost. We need to plan out the new line, which is going to diverge here, I would say, and come down this way. Because this is going to be a really cool place to build it on the embankment. And there'll be a lovely connection opportunity, I'm sure, with this line somewhere as well. So I think if we come this way, connect up here, go over the line somehow, and then here I think we should curve up this way, because I'm sure there's a big station somewhere. Maybe over there. It's quite a long way to build it. It kind of makes the track a U shape then, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Anyone who knows the Jubilee Line's route will know that's just a big U shape. So I reckon we can build this right the way along via loads of intermediate stations, including one here, and then we will terminate the line Yeah, I think Slenston will be a good place to terminate. It's just a case of where to actually build. I suppose the HLR station can kind of go there. Okay, that's that bit done, but we still got to plan out this side, because this original station here is going to get moved, as we said before. So I think we're going to have a metro connection again here. Do you know what? I could actually build this line here. No, there's no point, because the other line, the other HLR line goes there. So I suppose this HLR line can go down to Renston. Yeah, I might do that. So they're both going to kind of end up... I mean, this one's going to be like an S-bend, sine wave kind of shape by the time I'm finished. It's going to kind of run alongside this line. And then it's going to come across this way somewhere. I think here. And then round the back of New Grudingbury. It's mostly going to be underground at this point, I would imagine. Shall I connect it over here as well? So where's the first one go? First one's all the way down here. Yeah, I might as well do that. Why the heck not? Connect it over here at Sunningbury. And then out this side. And then back across this way. And it will terminate directly opposite the metro. And then we can start building. So here it's going to be along like this. So for this I need the Japanese modular stations. I can for some of it, I suppose. Or just Japanese platforms were the ones. Now these are going to be slightly different. I think it was these ones we used originally. I think for this line, because it's an extension, I'm going to use the slightly more angular ones. So that is buffers with metal roof. Perfect. Metal roof and underpass. Was that metal roof and benches we had? It wasn't, but it is now. And then this one is just going to be metal roof. We go with the old school type of switch over like that. Sometimes scissor crossings are the best. Sometimes you want to separate your crossings. Very much depends. Right, so we're going to have a station over here at Dunningpool Bridge. So we need to kind of build our tracks up and across like this. Just thinking if I do that, and then all of this raised. And then lift all this up as well for our tracks to run along. So create a bit more of a hill. There we go. Right. Over the water. Go with a girder style. Or should we go concrete? We'll go concrete. So this is going to be... The original formation was on an old railway formation. Oh, that's Adobe pinging in my ear. That's... gave me a heart attack then. I'm not very good with jump scares at the moment for some reason. Things like that keep giving me jump scares. Not a nice feeling. What was I saying? I can't even remember now. Oh yeah, the original formation was on an old track formation, which is why it's all old viaducts and stuff. And some of this will be as well, but because it's kind of all new at this point, it's all going to be like new bridges. Let's lower this down like that, I'm trying to think, where am I going to build this bridge? Or where am I going to build this station? I think the best place is redirect the river slightly so that it runs straight along here, and then the HLR station can go here, here, and here, like that. And then if I do that like that, we can then have a tunnel, and then it will rise up and connect like this. There we go. And then we can connect up with Sunningbury Station as well. This works out quite nicely for us because it should put us then at the right level to cross behind. I'm going to delete all of this because we want it to go over a bridge here and then through a tunnel underneath. What did I press? There we go. Like that. And then, oh yeah, we have the express tunnels through there. Okay. So that kind of makes our mind up for us then, that we're going to do it this way instead. And then this tunnel, this station, that should be the same station. Yep. Likewise with this one. Yeah, that makes this a little bit more interesting actually. How am I going to do this? Like this. I suppose we can do it like that. It's not the best. We're doing a lot of demolishing now, which really wasn't on my agenda, but what can you do? Right, that needs to lift up one like that. Is this the same station? It is. So actually, part of this is completely pointless. I'm going to demolish this for a second. And then I'm going to demolish this. And I'm going to replace it. It should be a new station. Yeah. And I'm going to do that. So, this is actually going to be this. And while I remember, we'll do that, grab this. Okay, cool. So that's all reset. Metro, Japanese platforms. That should be the right one. So we want metal roof and underpass, metal roof and benches, and then over here, metal roof and benches, underpass, and just metal roof. And then we want a tunnel. That's going to take us under the town. yeah, we've done way too much demolishing here. I can only apologise to the citizens of New Groodingbury. Hopefully this will make a little bit more sense once the HLR's up and running. People might be a little bit happier with us then, actually driving stuff through their houses. Also, I'm sort of presuming here with these stations, which I shouldn't really be doing. I'm going to assume that this is where they're going to go. Doesn't necessarily mean it is where they're going to go. Right, and then we're going to have a set of tunnels here, which are going to go as far as this point here. Tunnel, tunnel. And then we're going to have a stretch like this. We're going to demolish that, which we should put back at some point. I'm sure we'll get around to it. This tunnel emerges here. Tunnel, tunnel. And then it's a case of that, and that's them connected. Okay. Connect, 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 and connect. So I'm not sure. Actually, I think I will have a station here as well. So if I do this, that's what's great about the HLR, is you can put stations close enough together that small towns like this one could end up with 2 stations still. I think that's pretty cool. So I will get rid of this station temporarily and this station temporarily, just so we can build the route. We do it something like this. Something else I like about the HLR project is I can build little tight bends like that and not have to worry too much. Right, here's where it's going to get interesting. Because first of all I've got to build the new station here, but then I need to come out this way, straight one, and then turn this way again so that it can go into a tunnel. Yep. Tunnel, tunnel. Which will bring it out for the connection here to the metro. So this is fun. Again, tight bends, but I love it. Absolutely love it. The only thing I'm not doing is 90-degree bends. That's always a big no-no on my lists. Actually, it would make more sense if I did it this way around. Because then the platforms are right next to each other and there isn't that tile space in between. There we go. And what's good about that is I was dreading having to move the freight track, but now I don't have to. Swings and roundabouts. In fact, there's no real swings and roundabouts at all. It's all win at the moment in this project. It is all win. Speaking of all win, this has been quite a long episode that I've been doing so far. Just check everything is still working as it's supposed to be. Just tap the mic. Yep. Good. I won't say anything. I'm not going to jinx anything. I nearly said something about my PC, but I'm going to keep quiet. It's a bit like my laptop's on the fritz at the moment. I think I mentioned this before as well. So I've had to start using my phone to stream videos to my Xbox, because that's the kind of first world problem that I have. I have to now stream videos from my phone to my Xbox because my laptop doesn't work. I know, I suffer inside, don't worry. But I had this horrible thing because I have an Xbox One, which I love. I think the Xbox One is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and Sony could learn a lot from it, but that's my personal opinion. What I did the other day was I queued up a load of videos on my phone, and just as I finished queuing them up, I leant over to do something on OpenTTD, and my elbow touched the like power button thing on the front of the Xbox and turned it off. Oh, I was so mad. So mad when I did that. It's such a stupid thing to do. Like when I first got my Xbox and I didn't know how sensitive the touch was, and I accidentally switched it off. Like I think I'd won a really important match on FIFA or something really, really dumb. Like you shouldn't get upset over it kind of thing. And I turned my Xbox off and ended up just screaming at the top of my lungs because I was so annoyed at how stupid I'd just been. Oops, wrong height. But yeah, that's my first world problem at the moment, is my laptop. It's gone completely kaput. Well, I say it's gone kaput. The laptop itself still works. The speakers have gone kaput, which, when you just want to sit down and watch videos or listen to music or whatever, is a big bad problem. So, long story short, I need a new laptop, which has to go on my list of many things that I would like but can't afford right now.